The 4th generation C4 Corvette is one of the coolest but weirdest cars that America has ever produced. In this video, I'm not going to go over the same quirks that you might have already heard before. I'm going to assume you already know about the 1-to-4 skip shift with the manual transmission, or the pop-up headlights, the swivel 180 degrees, or the essentially useless cup holders. No, that's rookie territory. Today, I'm going to go over the super surprising stuff that I didn't discover until after I owned my car. And this isn't the little stuff either. This is stuff that you will notice every single day if you daily your Corvette like I do. So these are my top 5 quirks about owning a C4 Corvette that no one tells you until you own one. Welcome to the channel for anyone who wants to enjoy cars without breaking the bank. Yep, I'm a YouTuber who's usually talking about cheap practical used cars or ownership hacks or things like that, and yet here I am, I own a Corvette. Sometimes you just can't explain love. And I love my car. It's a 1996 collector edition that was made to commemorate the last year of the C4 Corvette. Now, I did a ton of research before picking up my Corvette. In fact, I drove 3 other Corvettes before buying this one. Even then, I had to discover these 5 weird things by myself. So, let's get started with number 1. Number 1, the wide turning circle. It is atrocious. The car isn't very big, but you'll need a ton of space if you have to turn around. The problem stems from how wide the front tires are. Look at this, my steering wheel is hard over. Yep, that's all the steering angle that you get. The wide front tires are great for high-speed grip, but not so great in tight parking spaces where you'll have to do a lot of 3-point turns. The second thing that no one tells you about, the coolant temperature. In the Corvette Facebook groups that I'm in, this comes up all the time from new owners who have either the LT1 or the LT4 engines like mine. So you're driving around for a while and you look down at your temperature gauge and holy crap, it's overheating, what do I do? Well, you can relax because the engines are designed to run that hot. That's because they have what's called a reverse flow cooling system. Now, what the heck is that? In almost every car, the coolant has a path that starts at the block and then is sucked up to the heads. But the LT1 or LT4 engines are opposite of that. The coolant cools the heads first and then goes down to the block. GM designed it this way for increased reliability and performance and efficiency reasons that I won't get into here, but it means that the coolant temperature runs hotter than what you'd see in normal cars. Most cars run about 200 degrees Fahrenheit, but these Corvettes won't even turn on their electric cooling fans until about 225, or if you turn on the air conditioning. That's by design, totally normal. Don't sweat it. What I think is a dumb design is the gauge itself. I think normal operating temperature should show the needle pointing at the middle, not near the top end, which seems to indicate that there's some sort of problem when there isn't. But whatever, moving on. Number 3, these hyperactive seatbelt tensioners. Now, this is probably the single most annoying thing on this car. I don't think this gets much attention because most people just putter around in their Corvettes, but I like to drive mine with, let's say, spirit. Now, you might be already familiar with seatbelt tensioners because most modern cars have them. The idea is if you get in an accident or you suddenly slow down, the seatbelt will cinch up on you and hold you firmly in place. And then afterwards, when there's no more weight pressing against the belts, the seatbelt will relax so you can move around in comfort. Well, in the Corvette, they got the first part down, but not the second part. So if you are really hustling and your body is pushing against the belt around a fast corner, or if you're braking or even accelerating hard, the seatbelt will cinch up. But unlike every other seatbelt tensioner I've ever seen, it won't let go afterwards. The bottom part will just keep compressing in on you. It's super uncomfortable, and the only way to release the grip is to unbuckle it completely and then rebuckle it. So, not the best safety feature. At first, I thought my seatbelts were broken because I couldn't get a straight answer from any of the parts guys, any Corvette experts, or even my factory service manual. I even bought and installed another pair of belts to see if they worked any differently. Nope. Same issue. I actually took the cover of one of my seatbelts apart. Beyond some loose change that was stuck in there, everything looked to be in its right place. Inside the red bracket, you can see the little metal gyro doohickey that triggers this issue. Gyro doohickey, very technical term. When that swings around in any direction, it activates a paw that cinches down the belt and then won't let go. I think a lot of owners get confused about this issue because of this little cinch button, so let me clarify what that does. If you're about to go for a spirited drive or if you're going to a racetrack, you can pre-cinch the seatbelts by hitting this button so that you can't move around. But I think this button is useless because, as I already said, the little gyro doohickey inside will cinch up your belts at the first sneeze of G's anyways. But if you're looking at a later model year like mine, just know you're not crazy and that this is how the belts are supposed to operate, for better or for worse. The fourth thing no one tells you is that you cannot heel and toe downshift. A driver's car should have a manual transmission, and a proper driver's car should have its pedal spaced so that you can heel and toe downshift. And the Corvette, of all cars, doesn't. If you've never heard of heel and toe downshifting, don't worry, it's pretty much unnecessary in daily driving. But for hustling around a racetrack or a canyon road, it's a great skill to know. My friend Ethan over at the Hello Road YouTube channel will demonstrate in his car, which has proper pedal spacing. When you're coming up on a tight turn, you'll need to downshift, lift the throttle, and hold the brakes all at the same time. So that's where you use your heel on the gas and the toe on the pedal. Get it down pat, and it's super fun and super satisfying. But not all cars have their pedals spaced well for this, and unfortunately, the Corvette is one of them. You can see that the accelerator pedal is set so far back from the brake that it makes heel and towing basically impossible. The only way around this is to get some sort of accelerator pedal extender. Thankfully, my friend Stuart works with 3D printers and was able to custom design one for me that slips neatly over my accelerator pedal so that they're more even. I can now heel and tow in my Corvette, and to that, I am eternally grateful to him. Stuart, you're the best. The last thing that no one told me about owning a C4 Corvette is the traction control pushes back. Most modern cars have traction control, but the C4 Corvette was one of the very first cars to have it when it became standard equipment in 1992. The Corvette's system is called ASR, which stands for Anti-Slip Regulation. For the most part, it works just like any other traction control system. When it senses that one of the drive wheels is slipping, the traction control will either use the brakes or close the throttle to slow it down. What makes the Corvette system so bizarre is that when it's active, it's actually pushing back against your foot. It's as if the car is telling you, all right, buddy, time to back off. This threw me the first time I drove this car hard because I've never even heard of another car that did this. If you know of any, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Thankfully, ASR can be defeated with this button to the left of the steering wheel, but you have to do this every time you start the car. And disabling it makes a warning light come on right in the middle of the driver information center, which is annoying. But hey, at least you can turn it off if you want to go and have some fun. So hey, that's my list. If you're a Corvette owner, I'd love to hear from you in the comments section below. Anything that surprised you after you bought the car that you wish you knew about beforehand? And be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any more videos coming your way real soon. Till next time, thanks for watching. Stay practical.